You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Welcome back, movie lovers, for a big dose of based and demon-pilled netherworld adventures.
Oh yeah, fucking this movie is definitely based and fucking satanic pilled. Fucking, we're gonna summon the devil. This could have been one of those movies growing up. Remember how everybody was afraid of The Exorcist, man?
They were.
You watch The Exorcist, the demon's gonna possess your VHS. This wasn't one of those. I didn't see this till way later in life. I didn't see this as a kid.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I wasn't like real little. I think I was probably like 12 or 13 when this came out. I went to go see it. I forgot to ask you, are you recording a backup, Zach, in case any paranormal interference happens with recording?
I am, baby. We got a backup.
Thank you so much. Because I'm really worried about these demons because, as we know from our boy Jacob Singer, like once you start talking about them publicly, they start coming for you. Ain't that right?
Exactly. Fucking, didn't you watch Zach Bagans' movie? Fucking
no. Is that the guy that has like the haunted horror museum or whatever?
He does the fucking supernatural ghost hunting TV show, Ghost Adventures, and he put out a documentary where it starts out with him basically saying, by watching this movie, you could get your house could get possessed. Basically trying to scare you away from watching the movie.
From watching Jacob's Ladder?
No, not this movie.
Oh.
His documentary.
Oh, his document. Oh. The ghosts are in the zeros and ones, the pits of the Blu-ray and DVD he puts it on.
That's one of those like weird kind of like fucking things that like, well, why didn't we think of that before? Fucking just literally market to people that like watching this movie is gonna fucking kill you. Fucking like that would have been dank if they did that back when we were kids.
Oh yeah. They kind of started like when we got older with Blair Witch. They're like, oh my god, like I don't know, like if you watch this, you could get wrapped up in the mystery.
They never really said that it's gonna kill you though. We needed to be told it's gonna kill you. Like we needed the Sammy Cura movies. Like just come here, we're gonna kill you in the theater.
There could be a guy. I'm trying to think, but I thought there was like. Ain't it like the town that dreaded sundown or something like that ends like not like it shows like the movie. And then it shows like the people like going to the movie in the line outside, and they're like, "Oh, he could be sitting behind you." I thought there was some shit like that.
That did happen. It did happen. Yeah. Hell yes. Genius.
All right, so we're gonna get it rolling. We got a full 2 hours ahead of us here.
Do we even tell them what the movie is?
Oh, they already know it's Jacob's Ladder. I mean, we already said it's demon-pilled in the funeral.
Fucking it's gonna get you fucking based.
You're gonna be so based in demonologies after this one.
We should be strictly fucking doing vocals, death growl vocals. The whole thing, the whole time.
Your wife has a horn in her mouth.
His wife is so Stacy.
Oh god, yeah, like that's pretty much that was my main interest of this movie when it came out, because I had a Fangoria that had the picture that I sent you just recently with the horn coming out of the mouth. Like, I don't know why they put that picture in Fangoria. I guess they couldn't show too much or something. And like, yeah, like that was erotic reading for me at the age of 12. Believe me.
Oh, that is kind of a weird way to kind of see that effect for the first time.
In a magazine.
It's supposed to happen really fast and then cut away. Like, what the fuck did I just see? Anyway, we should probably start the movie.
Yeah, let's start the movie. There's different versions. There's been different distributors. So depending on what version you have or where you're watching it on streaming or disc or wherever, you could see different opening studio logos. So we're going to just jump past the studio logos and go straight into the credits. And the very first credit of this film is the great Mario Casar and Andrew Vagina present. They were the founders of Carol Co., who was originally making this movie. So yeah, so we got it paused where it says Mario Casar and Andrew Vagina present. So please get your what was that?
Vagina.
I know. That's his real name too. Very famous movie executive. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get rolling. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, go, and you hear me say the word go. Please press play on your remote. You ready, Zach?
Oh yes.
1, 2, 3, go.
I am sorry. I feel like I screwed up your intro. Like fucking I sidetracked it all over the place.
No, it's okay.
Jacob's Ladder.
Right into a Jacob's Ladder. They're presenting Jacob's Ladder.
Like we saw it all big, and then it's looking like Apocalypse Now type shit.
It is. That was another thing too, because I mean I'm watching this on a stream on HD. Like I was telling Zach before, I didn't realize not only was this movie on Blu-ray till a couple months ago. I've been meaning to pick up a copy of it, but it's been out on Blu-ray for like 10 or 12 years, and like I had no clue.
This is one I've loved since the first time I watched it. Like I remember watching it for the first time, hearing about it for years, just hearing like I think I remember hearing about it growing up, and like I saw like this documentary that was on Bravo. It was like 100 Scariest Moments or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I found out about a lot of really good Kino fucking flicks that I found out about this on there. I found out about like Don't Look Now with the midget in the raincoat. They spoiled that it was a midget in the raincoat in that, but like I still fucking watched the movie, enjoyed it. Very Kino. But like,
by the way, Zach, could you just try not to drop too many F-bombs, because since we're doing Jacob's Ladder, I think we're gonna have a lot of children tuning into this episode.
This is fucking the movie debut of one Macaulay Culkin.
Exactly. He's going to bring the kids into
nobody
the podcast.
remembers that. Nobody remembers that. Every time I watch this movie, I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this.
I don't know.
But it's like, he's so forgettable. But it's like,
well, he's barely in it.
He is. It's like he's uncredited, actually. I don't know if he was a star by this point or if this was before.
I think he was coming off of Uncle Buck. I think this was his transition film, which by the way, like Macaulay Culkin doesn't show up for like another 90 minutes, but we're talking about already. I looked at the release dates, Zach. Can you believe this literally came out in theaters like the week before like Home Alone came out?
Amazing. Fucking amazing. That kid was living on top of the world that year.
I know.
What a fucking Chad. He might like fucking. He's not even gonna ever live that. He peaked so young. Like him getting his dick sucked, that's never gonna feel the same. Like fucking. Yeah. I feel bad for him.
That's why he shows up at wrestling shows now. He's searching for that high he got from doing Jacob's Ladder and Home Alone back to back.
Back to back fucking Kino royalty, this man. Speaking
of Kino, I thought it was an interesting choice from the screenwriting perspective that the movie starts out in Vietnam, and the platoon of soldiers, their sergeant is Tim Robbins, who's the titular Jacob singer. They start out, the whole opening dialogue is all about how much Tim Robbins takes a shit in Vietnam. Did you notice that?
Exactly. Fucking he takes a shit.
Look at him in the bushes taking a shit right now with his rifle.
In the wilderness, fucking living among the wild. Mm-hmm. You think that's what starts all this? You think the enemy smelt his shit and like, oh fuck.
That's why they come? Yeah, probably.
This way. Fucking just with precision, just like fucking strategic, just fucking like a razor fucking finding out where they are now. Mm-hmm. And then throwing chemical warfare to make Ving Rhames just start convulsing and spitting out blood.
Talk about the all-star cast we have of the Vietnam platoon. We got Ving Rhames, we got Eric LaSalle, and Pruitt Taylor Vince, obviously all before they got, discovered and big time in movies.
Exactly. Is this the movie that did it? Was like somebody just watching fucking Jacob's Ladder, man? This fucking movie. Mm-hmm. It kind of is like a big budget. What is that? Fucking trauma movie? Combat Shock.
Yeah.
It kind of is like that. I'm noticing that right now.
Yeah. So the soldiers are getting attacked, but like it's obvious, at least to me at this point in time. I don't know how obvious it was at the time watching as a kid, but like they just start like dropping over and having like seizures, like blood coming out of their eyes and mouths and nose. It's like everybody's screaming, "What the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on?" It's like it's obviously some kind of like chemical like attack or something.
Exactly. So are we gonna assume people have seen this movie? We can spoil it. Talk about.
Oh yeah, with every single one we spoil because we assume. But I do think with this one, because it's weird because this movie is super famous, Zach. But I feel like there's still a lot of people, like not that many people talk about it, so I feel like a lot of people probably just will know the title of Jacob's Ladder, maybe whatever, but like, yeah, I mean, it's full spoiler, and here's why I don't mind going full spoiler, besides, we need to talk about what we need to talk about, but like, I thought this film, my recollection of this film, my memory, I haven't seen this all the way through since the theaters. Yeah, Ehrlich's shot like cum out of his nose. It was very bizarre. But
He big comes right out of his mouth. He did the fucking Eddie Furlong shit.
yeah, and I guess it's easy to say this when you know the twist of the movie or whatever, but like I thought this movie started out like real normal and then like slowly devolved into all the demonic shit. Like this movie's very like up front and in your face within the first 15 minutes of everything that's going on in the movie. You know what I mean?
As soon as this movie, for some reason, I was telling him before we started, like every scene in this movie is like iconic to me. Like I fucking remember every scene, like I've seen it 1,000 times, and I remember, like I love so many lines in this movie, and I'll bring them up as we go along. But like, yeah, just fucking the way it starts. See, the way I always interpreted this movie, well, not always, but like now I do, seeing it multiple times, is I think, well, fucking. Basically, what happens is we know that Jacob dies here when he gets stabbed, and then throughout the rest of the movie, it's almost like it's happening in real time, and it's like him floating in and out of like a conscious fucking sleep, and like maybe the things he's hearing and stuff is like influencing kind of the dream he's having, and it's fucking basically it's like it's just like a crazy acid trip. And and we'll talk about as we go along, because there's this fucking the way the chiropractor is like fucking he represents some kind of like comfort to him. He always felt safe when he was in the doctor's what do you think about chiropractors? You think they're bullshit artists?
I don't know if they're bullshit artists, but I do know this. Just recently, within the past year, there was a lady where I work who had severe back problems at one point. I think she had some sort of serious back injury from like a car accident from years ago, and like she went to a chiropractor, and they cracked that shit so bad that like they actually did the opposite. Instead of helping her, like they fucked her up so bad that she was like bedridden for 6 months and had to do leave of absence, and almost had to have a surgery where they were going to shoot all this like hardening semen into her spine and shit. So like I've also had other coworkers that like go every 2 weeks, and they're like, oh yeah, I gotta get the butt. I mean, I guess I'm lucky. I don't suffer from major back problems. I just get lower back pain randomly from time to time.
It probably is like that thing where like fucking you, like as a kid or like now sometimes like fucking you get your buddy like, oh yeah, crack my back, you like get on the floor, they do something, and it's like it feels better, but it's like apparently all it's doing is like kind of like making air kind of push out in between the bones. It's like, is that really doing anything? I don't know.
Well, the way Danny Aiello does it in this movie, though, he performs like internal surgery when he does it. Like I've never seen anything like that. But I mean, exactly. Going back to what I was saying, I personally would not go to a chiropractor like unless I was just like it desperately seeking help.
Yeah, it seems kind of scary in this movie. Yeah. Like what he just like at that jump scare where he just twists his neck, and it's like what the fuck? It's like holy shit. I don't think I could ever relax around anybody like that. To let them do that to me.
Yeah.
We should mention, basically we saw Jacob get stabbed, and then he wakes up in the subway, and
he looks at a sign that says hell real big on it.
Basically, he is in Silent Hill now, because I mentioned that too. Is like this is basically the Silent Hill movie we never got, and we don't need, because Silent Hill is just based on this movie. Mm-hmm. I love that though.
Yeah, the guy has a giant penis that like flops out of his coat. It was like so big he was trying to like wrap it around his legs to hide how big his penis was.
And then the old lady, look, they're just weird kind of. It reminds me of that remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 70s with fucking.
Oh yeah, Donald Sutherland. Do you like that movie? Because I actually really like it.
I do. I was wanting to get the 4K or whatever.
Yeah, like I screwed up and got the original Blu-ray like a while back, and it's like weird. It doesn't look bad, but it does something weird to my eyes when the camera pans. Like it makes my eyes go weird. So I'm thinking maybe I should get the 4K. Maybe that would fix it. I don't know.
Oh yeah. This is like apart from Silent Hill 3. You're fucking walking through the fucking subway here, subway station.
Which, by the way, I'm not going to read it word for word, but I looked up some trivia for this. Like, I guess, like, they couldn't like shut down a subway station, like, you know, whatever. So like they went to like a sub part of the subway that like was like closed down for years and years, but it was like so screwed up they had to like redo the tile to make it look like it was current, like usable, still in operation subway. But like if you look at the subway station, it looks like it's covered in feces and piss. It's so dirty. The fact that they had to kind of reconstruct and rebuild this like platform here is like kind of mind blowing.
Fucking, it looks literally like my living room right here. Where I am.
Exactly. Do you see the urine, the feces rolling down
everywhere,
the side
fucking,
there?
He's gonna walk over a rat here. Fucking same.
But like I was saying though, like when he saw the guy's big penis tail, like we're like less than 10 minutes. Like that's what I was saying to you is like I remember this movie being like I thought it was like this big slow burn, and then like he would start seeing the demons like halfway through. Like he's seeing the demons like 10 minutes into the movie.
He's just seeing very weird thing. Like the way they do it is really clever and well executed. Like fucking, he's walking out of the subway and he just kind of glances over at a homeless guy covered up, and he just kind of sees like a tail or something fucking flick into his coat, and then he has to hurry up and walk out before it closes on him. And it's just like, did I just see that? Fucking very well done. Fucking we all do that, like thing. Fucking, you know, when people talk about seeing ghosts and shit, like I saw it through the corner. Isn't it weird that it's always through the corner of your eye?
Yeah, it's never like dead on.
I love this one.
Yeah, like when the subway almost like this, I feel like this was probably in the trailer, and that's probably why I remember this scene so much. But like this part, like when he jumps out of the way, and then he gets up and he looks at the subway windows, and like they're all like obviously like dead people and freaky, like, and then the guy at the end is like a fucking Slender Man, Hellraiser, like
the bag over his head or something.
Yeah, like this is what this is what I mean. Like this movie is just so in your face. Like it's so obvious that, you know, like he's either dead or in a purgatory, or like demons are on Earth or just something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Fucking, it's like I mentioned like, oh fucking, like, is this his dream? Like fucking, but people talk about like, oh yeah, well, you before you die, what your whole life flashed before you die. What if this movie's asking the question like, what if it's not something happy like that? What if it's like before you die, you have like the worst fucking nightmare of your life? Like, wouldn't that suck? that's what the movie asks.
Yeah, I mean that ends up being pretty much the thesis of the film. But even this, like, was there some significance to the pennies jammed in the little window of the thing?
Just weirdness, yeah. Like I guess maybe as people were going up, they just put a penny in there that they found on the ground. I don't know, fucking just weirdness.
Well, and the weirdness too that like the hallway of his apartment building is like full of baby carriages. Like in real life, like I guess you could say like, oh, all the people in the thing, like they just, because they got lack of space, they got to put it out in the hallway, the baby carriages. But like that shit would get stolen in a second for real in New York.
Exactly. Fucking our boy, we were seeing his apartment. Looks like he's coming home. He's got a doggy, very Chad dog. I wanted to call him Dogging Tatum, but I was like, that's not what we do. We say Chatting Tatum. But he's got a big Stacy.
Huge Stacy.
What a Stacy.
Rest in peace, Stacy.
I did not know she died.
Yeah, very sad. I remember when it happened, I was shocked because she was still so young.
That is crazy. Yeah, she was one of the people on the Bravo's 100 scariest movie moments or whatever, and like fucking, she was talking about the movie, and like I was just like fucking, it showed old shots of her, and I was just like, dang, big Stacy.
Yeah, I had major boners for her when I was a kid because she's in a movie called Down and Out in Beverly Hills where she plays like the live-in maid to these rich people. And like in the movie Richard Dreyfuss, like he sneaks out of his bedroom with his wife to go have sex with her like down the hallway. So like I already like at a young age was like super attracted to her. And then in this movie she's so horny and naked like the whole time.
Fucking, she is raring to fuck. She is raring to fuck. She just got into the shower with her boy, and then it cuts away to a flashback of him fucking. See, that's what we're led to believe. The whole first time I watched this, I remember thinking like, okay, he was in Vietnam, and it's setting it up like this is a flashback, and then like fucking and yeah, I guess like he keeps falling asleep, drifting in and out of consciousness, baby. Fucking and the world's just coming all over him. Fucking, it's raining.
Exactly.
It's
But
raining.
I think too, like when you don't really know like the true mystery, like the first time you watch it, you're supposed to believe that the reason it keeps flashing back to like all his nom shit is like that he's seeing the demons because it was it's like some form of PTSD.
Exactly, exactly. We'll get to that though. It seems like it is. It's like we're watching the movie play out in real time as they're carrying him into the into the fucking helicopter and everything, and we're floating in and out of. And then it is. It's just like it plays out like it's happening in real time as he's dreaming it, and like
Of course, we gotta give major props again to Elizabeth Pena for electing to do this scene with her shirt completely open so we can see her breasts the whole time they're doing the dialogue of the scene.
damn Stacy, damn Stacy. Fucking, I just fucking. Don't you just want to fucking ejaculate all over her titties?
Oh my god.
I had to drag this into just like the fucking
Yeah.
bottom of the.
Well, yeah. Believe me, that whenever I saw this was, when I was 12, 13 years old. Whenever I went to see this was basically an erotic thriller to me because the way she was in this movie.
Fucking, I brought this completely to Came Gang territory.
It's all right. It's Jacob's. I mean, Jacob's Ladder is all about the purgatory and like the sins. And we should talk about her character, by the way. Her name is Jezebel, and her nickname is Jezzy. And then she's completely mocking him because he was previously married and had like 3 kids. And
she's actually she's actually really cool in the movie. Like fucking
Yeah.
Jesse seems like a cool person to hang out. I want to hang out with Jesse. I want to party with Jesse. And I think as I was watching it this time, I think I realized fucking Jesse like and it's based on Jezebel. He brings that up later that like that's she says something about like she hates biblical names when he tells her the name of her kid. Like that's some things that are scattered throughout the movie too. Like she'll say things that are like, why would somebody say that? Fucking, and it's just like the movie's playing with you, like making you feel like something's off. He'll mention he'll start crying when he thinks about Macaulay, the poor Macaulay who passed away. We'll find out later in the movie how he passed away. Spoiler alert: it was because Tony Robbins wasn't watching him, and he drove his bike into the street, and that's a shocking scene. That's a shocking scene. Whenever he rides his bike in the scene, and then it just fucking bang! It just shows it happen real quick.
Well, he drops the baseball cards.
Exactly. It happens real quick, and it's a jump scare, but it's just like, oh fuck! Like whenever you see a big car hit a small bike, and you see the damage it can do, it's like fucking damn.
Apart. Yeah.
Exactly.
She's a good girlfriend because she totally mocks and makes fun of his kids.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at though. Like, yeah, she'll say stuff like that, and it's just like fucking something seems off about this relationship, and it is. It's just like fucking later on in the movie, he'll wake up, he'll be like, "Honey, fucking, I dreamed I was like fucking we were, I wasn't married to you anymore," and in the movie's just playing with you the whole time, like fucking, which version of reality is the real version? Fucking, and you never expect that the real version of reality is the nom shit where he's just laying on the table bleeding out the whole time.
Well, like there's like a version of this movie they could have made which I would have really enjoyed, where it would have been like he like it is real and like he did survive Nam, and just because he was so near death that's why he could see the demons. Like I would like to see that version of the movie as well, you know what I mean?
Fucking, I'm trying to be like I'm looking at it like trying to be all fucking like, from just sticking to the like the facts. Fuck, I'm not even bringing into it like the idea that this could be hell. He could be in hell. Like that could be what the movie's getting at. Like that's the scarier version of hell to me than just like fire and shit. Is just like a bad trip where it's just trying to fucking destroy everything you hold dear and shit. Like stuff like that just happening over and over. That would be terrible.
Well, it's really interesting. You got to pay attention because like the idea here is that one of his kids came by and left a paper bag full of photos of like his family, And when he saw the picture of Macaulay, his son who died, he started crying. So then you see Jesse take the bag of pictures and just throw them like in the garbage chute, which also has like a fire pit in it, so she burns up the things, which like I did notice that, like, ooh, that's harsh. You're burning pictures of the guy's kids that, like, he could probably, never get these pictures back. You know what I mean?
That's just to throw us off, too, to make us think, like, oh, something sinister with her, so that we're, like, questioning her motives. It's kind of genius, because, like, yeah, you never, like, they really did. They threw you off well throughout the movie, and we're seeing our boy Jacob. He's a postman, big postman.
Yeah. Aiello in his speech, though, he directly addresses that about the burning of memories and stuff. And like I always thought that was interesting, like how many people actually caught that like the first time they watched the movie. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Fucking every time I watched the movie too, I remember like for the longest time I was just like, man, I really love this movie. I feel like I want to give it like a 9 at least. But there's just something weird about the way it's structured, the way we're seeing that Jacob and our girl, they work together in the post. Very Stacey, very Stacey. She's such
in this scene, she looks so beautiful.
Chick.
Yeah,
exactly. Don't you just want to hug her?
Oh, exactly.
You just want to hug her and cry,
kiss on the cheek and cry into her neck and the back of her hair.
I just want to fucking cry and let her tell me everything's going to be fine. Everything's just going to be fine.
Yeah, hurt me, big mommy.
Drown me in a bathtub full of ice.
Exactly. which I thought it was funny, like that's like the picture of him in the bathtub and ice, like that's what they use for like the streaming picture, like when you click on it. I'm like, out of all the scenes of this movie, like
it is like an iconic shot, and it is what they used on the Blu-ray. It's a terrible cover, the Photoshop work they did for the cover.
But,
very weird.
I was gonna say though, like the thing that like, because like when I rewatched this the other day, I was like excited to be watching the movie because I always remember it as being a cool movie, and like, but it was like the first half, it was kind of bumming me out because it was like there wasn't like much plot. It was just like, okay, he's doing all this stuff. These are all the characters in his life. And it was like so on the nose that to me at least, that he was in like purgatory or hell or whatever. And like even to the point here, like I always like Danny Aiello. He's good in this movie, but not nearly as good as he was in The Stuff. Remember him in The Stuff?
Fucking, he's got all the right stuff, Danny Aiello.
But like this part where he looks at him and whatever his name is, Louis, Tim Robbins goes, "Oh, you look so angelic in this light," and like the office light and all that kind of shit. And I was kind of watching this the other day, and it was kind of bugging me. I was like, "Why is this movie so fucking on the nose?" You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and it was like the movie's 2 hours, which I don't mind. I enjoy all the parts of the movie, but I was kind of like, "Fuck, man!" Like I got another hour and a half of them just telling me over and over that he's in hell before they actually tell me he's in hell. You know what I mean?
I get it, babe. I get it.
Yeah. But I will say, and we'll get to it when it kicks up. But the second half, all of a sudden, like where the first half of the movie feels like it has no plot and it's like kind of directionless. He's just kind of like, scared and confused, trying to figure out what's going on. The second half, all of a sudden, like all this plot kicks in, and I really like that. And like I was like, oh, this actually is like just as good as I remember it, if not better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. There is a lot of a couple shots coming up. See, this is the part I was talking about where he just fucking.
Oh, he breaks his neck like Jason.
I can't imagine trusting a doctor. Yeah. A chiropractor isn't even a doctor. I can't imagine trusting a doctor.
That's what always scared me about chiropractor. Here it is. Oh, he's so angelic in this light. But yeah, like I mean, I don't know. Like I think it's very dubious how much medical whatever.
See, I think this basically it's letting you know right here that fucking he basically looks at Danny Aiello as like a fucking well, it's like this is his therapy basically. Yeah. Fucking I just realized I want a fucking cover of REO Speedwagon with all people dressed like Danny Aiello Speedwagon.
Aiello Speedwagon, that'd be good.
I would come.
Yeah. I can't fight this feeling anymore. Gotta snap your neck onto the floor.
Hell yes. He should just do all the songs as this character.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
No, are we supposed to get a lot of base symbolism? Like he walks by some rabbis. There's a bunch of young black girls on the corner. They start, because he's dressed as a postman because that's his job. They start singing "Wait for Me, Mr. Postman," and it's just like so weird. Like, what part of hell is this?
it's letting him think that fucking he's happy for a second before he you gotta remember fucking the good times.
This is like the simulation, right? Like, this is the Matrix part. This is the part that the Wachowskis stole.
Possibly. See, I always watch this and think like, fucking, what if this is just like things like that, or like things he like, maybe that song is playing on the radio and it's like a doo-wop version, and so he just incorporated that into his dream. That's kind of how I think about it while I'm watching this. And there's a movie that came out recently, kind of did something like that too. The newest Charlie Kaufman movie. Have you watched that? The Netflix?
No. What's it called?
Fucking, I'm thinking of ending. It's not exactly. I love that.
That dummy head, yeah, it's really creepy. It's like you can barely see it because of the glare on the back of the windshield thing.
It's so the way it's done works perfectly to me. Like they did, they just picked up. We're gonna deliberately choose the shots where the glare is there, and it works. It works perfectly for the movie.
Yeah, because I mean that's how it would look if you really seen it. Now this is where it starts getting more demon based and pilled.
Exactly. See, he just it's almost like I do like fucking every scene of this movie. It's probably because of how much I love the Silent Hill games, and this movie just kind of hit the same thing. But yeah, I probably would give this movie at least a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like it's one of those things. Like if I were to have any sort of criticism of it at all, it would be like I say, like it just nails the point home so hard that there's very little mystery really what's even going on. But like in terms of like, is the movie interesting or not? Like, yeah, it is, and like I think it's great the way it looks. Because like one thing I never really quite like really grasped until this go around with it was they never say like what the years is, because obviously it's supposed to be like years later that he's back from Vietnam and stuff. So I was like when I saw this movie, you know, whenever it came out, like I thought it was supposed to be like present day, like 20 years later after he was in Vietnam or something. But I think when you watch it, I think even the part where he's like in present day, like as the postman, I think that's still supposed to be kind of like the 60s or maybe 70s still.
So right here, he stopped by this place to I think he's checking on a friend, and he basically finds out that his buddy died. So this is like the kind of where it starts kicking off.
Yeah, and, I took it that he's the guy he's looking for, the Dr. Carlson. It seems like he's like the VA, like a psychiatrist that helps them with like PTSD and shit.
Yeah. And so he's getting frustrated. He's getting very frustrated. He's yelling at the nurse, and her hat falls off here, and he sees a fucking horn on her head. Just weirdness. It almost looks. Is it a horn, or it almost looks like a part of her skull broke, and it's just.
It would almost it almost looks like a tumor or something. And then he just starts running down the hallway, and I thought this was interesting. The levels at this film, like if you watch real closely here, Zach, he's running down the hallway, right, and then like. Really getting biblical with the references. He almost knocks over a bunch of kids here. Those kids that are trying to know God that they wrote that book about. He almost knocks them over, and then he runs down the hallway. So like that's how deep they were that they were even referencing that obscure book from back then.
Exactly. The fucking big came.
The kids that were the helping the kids that were trying to know God.
Exactly. Nobody's gonna get that reference.
The guy on eBay selling the book will, trust me.
Exactly.
But that's his meal ticket. But I thought this was like, and this is like what's kind of interesting about the dream world or the simulation world, and it kind of speaks to like when you do have dreams. Like I actually just had a weird dream last night that was very similar to the video game I was playing before I went to bed. But like when he meets this guy who informs him that Dr. Carlson's dead, he died in a car accident. And he asked him, he's like, his car just kind of blew up. And he's like, what do you mean his car blew up? Like who dies of like car explosion just out of nowhere, you know what I mean? But like I like that the guy was like normal, like this, like whoever he is, this therapist guy, like, and it was actually this scene when I was watching, I was like, maybe he is in the real world, like, you know what I mean? Like it was actually done realistically.
That's the fucking. I was gonna I was gonna mention too. I forgot what I was gonna say. I fucking. What was it we were talking about before? That guy looks like.
I don't know what part.
That guy kind of looks like a botched clone of Sam Raimi, like bootleg Sam Raimi.
He does.
Or does Sam Raimi look like a bootleg him? Which guy is more official? Because they both pretty bootleg.
Really, right. So which one looks more like Bob's Burgers?
Hell yes. I've never watched that show.
Neither have I. I just know what the guy looks like.
Oh yeah.
Here we are back to the highly erotic nature of the film, though.
Apparently there was a sex scene that was cut out.
Yeah. Because when you were talking about when he was trying to talk to the nurse to get help to see a psychiatrist, saying he was frustrated. He was very frustrated, just not sexually.
Exactly. Fucking. Imagine like if we would have got that sex scene. Fucking. You think they went all out? You think they showed Jacob spraying his cummies and Jezebel?
Yeah. I mean.
And he's like, oh, fucking, this is why he calls her Jezebel, and then he just fucking shoots her to the ceiling like in Scary Movie.
Yeah.
You're my Jezebel.
I feel like the reason she's so sexual is just to keep him with cum brain, so he doesn't realize that.
I think she literally is like a distraction. Like like every time she shows up, it's almost like directly after a part where he thinks of his wife and kids.
Yeah.
Which makes it seem like he's just like fuck, like. He probably likes her and thinks she's cool and shit, but it's like he still loves his wife, but she'll have nothing to do with him because they must have fell apart after like he let the kid die or something.
Yeah, like that's kind of what they intimate that he just like mentally he fell apart after Macaulay Culkin died. But I mean, like I'm looking at it, I think he made the right choice, really.
Chad, fucking big Chad, she's so Stacy. She's so Stacy.
Exactly. Which is funny because early in the film when he's kind of like confused, like he doesn't know what's going on, like all she wants to do is like lure him into bed to have sex, but then like later when he actually gets like a very clear idea like what he thinks is going on, he's talking about the demons and all that, like she becomes very nagging and not sexual and like almost like grandma like with the way she dresses later in the film. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Very Kino fucking. We are appreciating this Kino. I love this entire fucking scene. This entire set piece.
Yeah, the climax of this set piece at the house party. Like I feel like if we were wanting to turn this one into a commentary, this would be the equivalent of the bathtub scene from Savage Streets.
Hell yes.
But I find it ironic that like another girl at the party wants to have sex with him too. So again, I think this is just like the succubus demons trying to.
Is this what it's like to be Tony Robbins? Holy shit!
Yeah.
Tim Robbins, I mean.
This is what the power of positivity does.
Maybe that's what it is. They just think, "Fucking, aren't you Tim Robbins? Aren't you that really positive guy?" Yeah. Fucking our boy Tim Robbins is just bathing in the pussy. Fucking that's what is it? The fact that he's a mailman?
Oh yeah.
All the fucking he's got chicks singing to him. He's got fucking just all this different. He's got two different subplots, families going on.
He's got 3 women that want to have sex with him at this thing. Plus his old wife still loves him too. But like I think it's just that he's like 6'4" and they all realize he's probably got a big hog.
Shit, you know what I forgot? I was gonna do a really funny joke where I literally tried my hardest to get like fucking make it. I forgot all about this, but I had a great joke, everybody. I was gonna fucking wait till it was like, okay, you ready to start it? And I was gonna be like, fucking, dude, we're not doing the fucking the one from 2016 or 2019 because this was remade. This was remade, and everybody forgot.
Yeah, like I remember when it was getting threatened that it would be remade, but then I never heard it. And he even had that Michael Ealy guy who was like a pretty, like, well-known actor for a while, and like, yeah, like this movie just like. Or the remake, I mean, it just came and went. Like, I'm guessing direct-to-video.
Fucking, the fact that it is an hour and 29 minutes, and it fucking is so shitty, and this movie is almost 2 hours, and way better.
Well, like, did you actually watch the remake at all?
I did.
Yeah. I just read the Wikipedia, and it was like, it didn't sound like this movie at all.
I don't remember much about it, but I rated it on IMDb, and I rated it a 2 out of 10.
And then to watch the taste out of your mouth, you just watched the Tim Robbins erotic classic.
See, I love that scene right there where she said, "According to this, you're already dead." Fucking, and he reacts like you would if you heard that in real life, but knowing it in the context of the movie, it's like, oh, fucking, there's something sinister about that line. And even she wanted to fuck him.
Yeah.
She's like, "Give me those blue eyes." Is this like fucking this has to be his afterlife. Maybe that's a little thing letting us know, like they're all feeding into his ego, like we would want if we were, thinking about this happening, almost as if it's a dream.
Yeah.
Fucking, this is great though. Fucking the song they're listening to when they start dancing here is James Brown, and it's from an album called Hell.
Oh, amazing.
Fucking, I wonder why they chose that.
The reference is so subtle.
Exactly.
This is the highlight of the movie. Like you know how like horror movies have like that part where like somebody's head gets cut off or something. Like, to me, this is the highlight of Jacob's Ladder, because like I was telling you, I was like highly eroticized over Elizabeth Pena in this film, and it was because I had a Fangoria that had the picture of the horn coming out of her mouth.
Yeah, so fucking he starts kind of getting uncomfortable and walking around fucking as people are just kind of laughing at him and shit. And right here, we're going to see fucking the strobe light. Basically, it's like fucking Night of the Demons. She's doing some Angela shit. Yeah. And fucking dancing, and like a tail shows up. It's really well done, the way it's shot, because like, yeah, it is hard. It is kind of weird seeing it in Blu-ray, because it's like I remember watching it on VHS and it's always darker, and seeing it on Blu-ray, it is like well lit, but it's still like just well lit enough to where it's like fucking it's still like, it seems like the things we're not supposed to see are hidden or something. Right. Like, it still works to me.
Yeah, because there's a lot of parts of the movie. It's like, here, this is where like, I think he's probably like the only like actual human soul at this party though, because everybody's acting like super demonic.
Exactly. Fucking our Jezzy, very Stacy. Yeah. She's hot when she's demoned out. Holy shit. Oh yeah, she's basically dirty dancing with this guy because Tim Robbins was too square to dance. And then next thing you know, she's got a big what do you call it? The hentai tail flapping between her legs, and like they never show it full on, but like. Okay, here's another touch. Did you notice, like, the basically the guy behind her, like, you never get a full-on view of him, but he basically turned into a giant winged demon, and he's, like, fucking her with this big tail. And, but he, like, cut her side, and then, like, earlier, it was, like, the dummy head, she got, like, a full, like, what do you call it, talon spike? Like, it went up her ass so hard that it came out her mouth, literally. And the way it's shot is like, is that all happening in our mind, or is that literally what is that literally what it says in the script, or is that just our mind doing that? It's shot in a way that makes it almost seem like we're the dirty ones.
Right. Like it's just a big wing, like a 6 foot tall vampire bat that's just humping her hard.
What are you talking about? A big gremlin just came out, attached itself to her back, climbed inside of her shirt, and just like slithered around her like a snake.
But the way he, when he was fucking her, like he sliced open her leg. Like if you notice, in like the earlier scene, like when she was completely topless, she had a big scar on her boob, which I'm pretty sure that scar's not there in any of the other scenes where she's topless. So like, does she just go out and get railed by demons and then has these scars that like slowly heal up over time, and just Tim Robbins never notices? You know what I mean?
This man has the best fucking girlfriend ever, and he doesn't know how good he has it. And look, she's gonna fucking save his life after he just like cockblocked her, basically, after she was getting fucked by that gremlin. He just fucking, he started spasming out. I love his reaction to see, because the dummy head that you saw for the first time in Fangoria, which I can
Yeah.
imagine like when you see it in the movie, it's like, oh, that's not as effective now.
Yeah, yeah,
But like,
yeah.
I could. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? I had a good point to make,
I
and it
don't
left my mind.
know.
But like, yeah, I had something good to say there. But like, it's all good.
Did you ever have this happen to you though? Because he has a temperature of 106, and the doctor's like, "Oh, you gotta throw him in the bathtub with ice and all this."
Exactly.
I remember when I was like, I don't know, probably like about 14 years old. I had a high fever, and I had to do this. Like my mom, like I could barely move or anything. My mom had to get me in the bathtub, and like we didn't dump in tons and tons of ice, but it was just like as cold of water as like the whatever will come out of the faucet type thing. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cold actually. And then, but just my body was like so hot. Like this was torture being put in a fucking tub like this.
This is literally just gonna turn into a fucking Jezzy appreciation commentary because look how
Yeah.
she's taking care of our boy here.
I know. Why do you think he got that high fever? Do you think because he mentally he was observing so much demonic activity, it was like overloading him?
Exactly. Fucking he has like a fucking an allergic reaction to being cucked by a demon.
Yeah, where like if you made this now, not the shitty remake that they made, but if you made a true version of this, like the 2022 version would be that he would enjoy watching that happen.
He's jack off.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
then
right
later
as-
he would cry when he felt guilty about jacking off to him.
Hell yes. And then he'd do it all over again. What if
He-
that is like the best cum you ever have? What if that is why they do it?
What's sad is there's like somebody who like the worst thing happening to like their wife or their girlfriend makes them come the hardest. You know what I mean?
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with these people. I think I'd be nice to have a friend. Like I'm the friend they need when they want somebody to fuck their wife. I think.
Yeah.
Why am I going full cane?
But you know how like that's been like the big trend the last couple years to talk about that, like that cuck lifestyle and all that. There's got to be like a dark side of that like when the boner's over and all the sexual excitement is gone, like they got to be like crying over it at some point, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck. Here's the. I almost call it the first mindfuck moment, but it's the first kind of family mindfuck moment because he'll wake up a couple times and it's like which version of his life is right. So now he's back with the wife that we thought died. He's like fucking. I was living with another woman. It was Jezzy from fucking. She works with me in fucking the mailroom. It was a nightmare. She's horrible. Fucking. And then you start to believe it. You start to believe like fucking, oh shit, and then he wakes up again in the other. And you know what's funny is like when he wakes up in like the bathtub again, and it's like fucking.
He's like,
back
oh shit.
Yeah, he's back in the nightmare, and like fucking, he has that moment of realization where he's like, oh shit, I'm back in the nightmare, and then like a tear comes down his fucking. Every time I watch the movie, I'm happy that that's the version he's back to because this is the more interesting version. I want to see this man like. Go through this weirdness.
Well, I thought it was interesting too because you know how like something's happening to you like in real life while you're sleeping, and then it happens in the dream. Like I vividly remember one time when I was a teenager, I was having a dream that I kept washing my hands over and over, and like I didn't know why. Like I couldn't stop. Like it was compulsive. And then when I woke up, it's because my dog was licking the palm of my hand, and like that's kind of like what this is because like. He in the whatever demon world, he's getting thrown into the bathtub full of ice and he's freezing cold. But in this dream or whatever it is, this reality where he's with his wife, he's just super cold because the window's open during the winter time.
Exactly, and like I mentioned earlier, once he if I remember right, when I watched this earlier, I think I noticed that like once he notices like fucking like like he's thinking of his dead wife or his dead son again and his wife. He needs a distraction, so that's when he fucking wakes up back in the bathtub. Fucking, I think she just represents the distraction, like fucking, cause thinking about his wife and his kid, fucking, it brings the pain. It brings the pain to Jacob.
Yeah.
And I was gonna mention too. I think the reason they're very blatant about the the references with the angels and stuff fucking with the Danny Aiello and everything. I think it was their way of like, this is a way that we can kind of make the movie as what the fuck and mind fucky as we can, because we're being very blatant about, well, it's all the afterlife and shit. Because if you think about it, it is weird how it's structured, and like they set it up like, oh, we find out like, oh, there's a conspiracy going on and shit like that. Fucking, he's finding out his friends are dying and shit like that. And then it kind of does. It just like, it just pulls the rug out from under you and leaves you hanging on that, because it's just like, that doesn't matter. Fucking, none of that matters anyway. Because the way we do, we're left on that. It's like it's not like fucking we have a conclusion. It's just another cliffhanger. Basically.
Exactly. Well, that's what I like about it, though, because like when you have dreams, like sometimes they go off in like tangents or different directions, and you think, okay, this is the dream now, and then it changes again. Exactly. But like it's so like a box inside of a box inside a box of like how he not only does he dream now that like when he's like pretty much dying in the bathtub, like he's dying in the demon world, which is like where his soul is because his body's dying in Vietnam. But then he's dreaming within the dream that he's still with his wife and his son is still alive. But then like we know the son is dead, so are we supposed to believe that this is almost like a flashback possibly to when just the son was still alive? Or is it a whole nother reality, like a multiverse, if you will, as Marvel would lazily put it, that the son actually survived and he never got hit by the car? Like, there's just a lot going on to like fuck with your mind. Like, you don't really know where it's going. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know what? I found out recently that my dad, he's almost been gone for 9 years. He died like 9 years ago, and up until like recently, I literally used to have reoccurring dreams where it was like everything was just normal, like fucking. I could just call him and everything was fine. And it was like, I would describe it to people like I have an A and B life going on, where when I'm awake, it's like, how could I have thought that was real? But when I'm dreaming, it's like, fucking, no, him dying was a dream. It was so weird, like how
I know, I know exactly, because I have the same thing. Like my dad died like 6 years ago, who actually is the one who took me to see this movie. But when he first died, for maybe like the first year or two, like I kept getting fucked up because I kept having these dreams that I would like run into him in public, and
like in the Truman Show.
Yeah, just like he would just would be walking one way, and I'd be like, Dad, like, what are you doing here, or whatever. And I would like warn him. It was almost like I had went back in time, and I warned him like something's going to happen to you. You have to be careful. I was always trying to warn him and save him. And like those dreams were like for a year or two, and now like I still dream about him all the time. But it's like you said, it's just normal that you just see him and just like hanging out with them and stuff.
Crazy.
I know.
The
like
way
there's none of that anxiety about him being dead in the dreams anymore. You know.
Mm-hmm. Fucking, it's magical, really, when you think about it. That we can do.
It is, and not to be too like whatever. You know, that whole experience is like. I don't know, like I feel like it makes you less afraid of dying. Like I'm really not afraid of dying anymore. You know what I mean? Oh
yeah. Fucking base goat.
It is based. Yeah, this is the tear.
Dream.
When that tear comes, oh my god, that's so Kino.
See, like fucking, he just like, oh, we saved you, buddy. And it's like fucking now, like he woke up back in hell. Literally, because he said, fucking. Jesse from my job, it was hell. He just woke up back. But she's so Stacy.
Yeah.
She's so Stacy.
I would be happy to be in this reality.
I think that's what he's realizing now. He's like, but she's so Stacy, though.
That's why he was crying. He's like, oh, thank God.
The dog's pretty cool, too.
I came back with this Stacy.
Hell yeah. Is he under the water? Just open his eyes under the water.
I can't. I think it's hard to see the water line, but I think it's just like he's in the water, except for like his face, kind of.
I remember. I think I'm noticing that now that I'm watching it on Blu-ray. I think I always just thought he was just under the water, and I was like,
"How they get him?"
But that was just like a weird thing to make it uncomfortable. Him just like having his eyes open underwater, because we know it's so uncomfortable to do that in real life.
Mm.
in the water.
So, yeah, I have a little bit. I don't know if it's really trivia, but I just found this interesting. Like when I was looking at the guy who wrote this, guy's name was Bruce Joel Rubin. He was trying to get Jacob's Ladder like made into a movie when he wrote the script in like the very early '80s, and there was a time where he wrote all these movies, and they all got made at different time periods. But he wrote all these movies that are all about death. So his first movie that got turned into his first screenplay got turned into a movie is this movie called Brainstorm, which is this weird movie with Christopher Walken and I think it's Natalie Wood. I have it on Blu-ray. I had the DVD before that too, where it's like this weird machine where you put on your head and it records like what you do, and then like some shit happens and like Walken has to use it to like replay these things of like this conspiracy and this murder and all this stuff. But it was like that movie is really weird too, and it has to do with death as well because you're kind of going in between these like I don't know different realities kind of. But like that was the movie that was weird because like Natalie Wood died like right after they shot that movie. So like he had that, and then like 3 years later he had Deadly Friend get made, and like the Wes Craven movie, which like oddly enough that got people interested in the Jacob's Ladder script again because like all the studios had read it already and they passed, and it was actually Deadly Friend, believe it or not, that got the studio or I guess whoever produced it interested in it. And what's really ironic, Zach, is he also wrote the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, which came out the same year as Jacob's Ladder. So in the same year, the guy had Ghost and Jacob's Ladder come out, and like they're pretty much like the exact same movie.
Oh yes. Fucking what a true Kino Shad. Fucking Deadly Friend, Jacob's Ladder, Ghost.
That's a trilogy right there, baby.
Fucking the trilogy. The trilogy. Fucking ghost shit. Ghost shit is cool. Remember, were you old enough to watch Ghost Rider on Nickelodeon?
I think I was too old to watch it, to be honest with you, because I don't remember it. When I watched Nickelodeon, it was like the mid 80s.
It's funny the shit we do. Like it's funny. Like we like to shit on like the next generation. Like fucking, they're on their phone. Like fucking, oh man, we. The shit we used to do for entertainment, like I thought of this today while I was at work. Like I remember as a kid I used to like stare at a light until like you start seeing the floaty thing.
Oh yeah,
you know, when it kind of burns.
It like kind of burns a hole in your cornea temporarily.
I used to stare at a light until I saw that, and then I used to play like I was on Ghost Rider because it kind of looked like the effect that happened. That shit'll damage your eyes. See, kids today might be better off than we were.
So, speaking of which, I have a piece of trivia. How we're like talking about like this movie started a special effect. I believe this was the first one to do it, of the people shaking their heads off as the demons, which has been used as for like demons and ghost movies ever since.
Fucking Marilyn Manson videos.
Oh, Marilyn Manson ripped it off fucking stop. So, like, the trivia of that is the special effects were filmed live with no post-production. To achieve the famous shaking head effect, director Adrian Lynn simply filmed the actor waving his head around and keeping his shoulders and the rest of his body completely still at 4 frames per second, resulting in incredibly fast and disturbing motion when played back at the normal frame rate of 24 frames per second. So that's how you do it, babe.
Real quick, right here. This is the moment. Like fucking, you're having sex with fucking our girl. Just think of our boy, fucking Jacob. He's doing the sex with fucking our girl, and just fucking like he's doing it. He's building up to the big cum, and just as he comes, she looks at him and does this face. Like I would come so hard.
Yeah.
Like basically, if you're not watching, I did a joke there, but she just like demoned out, and he freaked out. Our boy.
Her eyes went black.
Went black. She had like sharp teeth.
Yeah, and instead of doing the right thing, he was plunging his penis back inside of her. He first to talk about some stunt acting. He very fastly and hard threw her across the room into some dressers.
And then she freaked out, like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And it's like, is he going crazy? Yeah. You know what's funny is I realized while watching this is that fucking Hellraiser 5. Mm-hmm. Remember, after Hellraiser 4, Hellraiser in Space, Because
Yeah.
everything, all the 4 movies, they gotta be in space. Fucking Critters 4 in space, Hellraiser 4 in space.
I like Hellraiser 4 in space, I gotta be honest.
It's the only good one. It's the
Yeah.
only good in space, part 4. And yeah, fucking yeah. I was thinking, what was I thinking? I don't even remember.
I think we're just talking about her being a demon, but
Exactly.
it wouldn't be that big of a turnoff to me if her teeth turned sharp and her eyes went black. She was still hot otherwise.
I love this fucking scene. Right here, he tells him basically, fucking, he's meeting up with his old buddy from Vietnam. They're at a bar, and he's telling him, fucking, I gotta tell you something. He looks like he hasn't slept in fucking a month.
Legit.
And he literally just opens up to him and tells him that fucking, I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
And that's really scary. Like that really fucked with me watching it, because that really, like, this is something that is completely possible to happen. I've talked to people that were kind of like this at multiple times in my life. That's yeah.
Yeah, also the awesome acting by the legendary Pruitt Taylor Vince, who got a lot of early roles because he could make his eyes shake like that.
Exactly. He says, "Fucking, I'm going to hell. Fucking, don't tell me I'm crazy. I know I'm not. They're coming. They're coming out of the walls. Fucking, the first time I heard that line, it was sampled on an album.
Wow.
So by the time I watched the movie, I was like, fucking. By that time, I loved the movie. I loved
You knew
the
where
album
it came
even more.
from finally, yeah.
Exactly.
Which I actually saw. I was actually a fan of him. He did a lot of good stuff in the '90s, Pruitt Taylor Vince. But I actually saw him at a grocery store once. He was checking out, a lane away from me. I wish I would have talked to him, but he was wearing like an Adidas sweatsuit.
Fucking Chad. You think he still hadn't slept because he's still thinking about all that shit?
I mean, he was years later. He was much older, but yeah, he maybe not have slept. I don't know.
Exactly.
But the thing I think is cool too is like you kind of think that like, oh, he bumps into his old friend from Vietnam. You kind of think like this is all still like in Tim Burton and Tim Robbins' imagination. But like I think the guy is like like that guy's soul or his ghost, whatever you want to say, whatever they are in this netherworld. I think that guy's actually there too because he died on the same day Jacob did. So I think they're both going through the exact same thing at the same time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And like one thing I guess we should kind of mention is like how the demons were trying to kill Jacob. Like they try to run him over with a car and all in the subway and all that kind of shit. And then what's going to happen to his boy here? His boy gets in his car and it just blows up and he's dead. Is like, I think it's almost like some Freddy Krueger shit. Like if the demons actually finally do get you and kill you, like then you really are just done in the afterlife, and then you move on to either heaven or hell, wherever you're going.
Exactly. Look at that. Who's that Poindexter that keeps following our boy around?
Yeah, it's a mysterious guy following them guys around.
Poindexter over there.
Played by Matt Craven.
Fucking, what do you think he's craving?
Probably White Castles.
Fucking, I was hoping he was craving the commies because I was ready to
Why would he
feed
crave
him.
that?
I was ready to feed him the commies.
Oh, you was gonna be the one doing it?
I'd have to be.
None of these boxers in the background were gonna do
Only
it.
I can do it. Fucking, I know what that which he survives on.
Jeez. I rather feed. If I was in this situation, I'd rather just go home and feed mine to Jessie again.
Hell yes. She's so pretty.
She is. She's beautiful. She was a great actress too. I always loved her. So sad that she's gone.
Stacy.
I don't know if it was one of her final movies, but I really like this movie called Nothing Like the Holidays. I think it's called. It was like a Hispanic family Christmas movie. I've seen it a couple times. I really loved it with Alfred Molina, a bunch of other people.
That shot of the stunt guy.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that too. Like he drop like him and his buddy. It's like fucking. I just found my buddy. He's going through this shit too. Now I'm not alone.
Yeah.
They're walking off happily ever after. He's like, I'll see you later, buddy. And it's fucking, okay, I'm gonna go get in the car. Oh, hey, I dropped my quarter. All of a sudden, the quarter just flies away. He looks back up, and his buddy, like, nods at him like he accepts his fate, and then his car explodes.
That was a great scene because, like, yeah, well, it was almost like he was like, "Oh, it's my lucky day." Like he found the quarter, and then the way the car.
Yeah, I really can totally see why people could walk out of this movie and feel like pissed off. Like they were just setting up like this weird conspiracy thing, and then it just ends, and it's like, oh, it was all a dream. Fucking, I can totally see that, but it's like it's not really a dream. It's it's the afterlife. We're seeing a movie. That's the whole point of the movie. I love that too, by the way. The guy, he comes out, helps them, and then just runs away.
Yeah, he's like, "You okay? Okay, I'm leaving now."
And like, fucking, just like it is. It's just like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? And then I can see why at the end, like, people could feel like, oh, it's just he's dead, and that's just a cop out, man. I can totally see that. I get it. But for some reason, I'm enthralled when I watch this movie the whole time.
Yeah, I mean it's really good because like I said, like really when he meets that guy at the bar, his friend. To me, this is where the movie like really picks up because now he reunites with all the rest of the at the funeral. He reunites with all the rest of the guys from Vietnam, and like to me, this is where you know, like the movie really started getting interesting. Like once you get in the conspiracy side, like, I think you need the based and demon-pilled conspiracy because I think the first half of the movie is interesting when it's just him going through it, but then when you find out other people are going through it, like it makes it seem more real. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So fucking now they're getting together, and him and his boys, they're gonna talk, and basically they're gonna come to the conclusion that this has to be happening because fucking, you know, when we were in Vietnam, they gave us something. They were fucking experimenting on us or something. Fucking, it made us all. We're seeing things and shit.
I don't think they ever say it by name in like the thing, but I always thought it was like Agent Orange or whatever, which there was, and there's like a weird disclaimer at the end when the movie ends that the thing really did happen to guys in the military. That like they got dropped a drug on them, but it's like weird because the whole drug thing is such a minor part of the movie of them getting experimented on because he really is just dead the whole time.
Or did he even get experimented? Is it just part of the dream?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because in the dream world, they say that it made them go nuts and they killed each other, but we don't even know if that's real. Because I mean, we just assume it's just like the Viet Cong or something that stabbed him and killed him in Vietnam until the very end. It reveals it.
Also, if he's being airlifted, because we keep seeing him waking up and he's being like, you know, airlifted into the chopper and stuff. Maybe he's just hearing conversations they're having. Maybe they're speculating about what's going on. So obviously something fucking happened.
Yeah, because the military guys, once they got there, they would understand that, like, you know, there was no actual enemy. It was just the guys attacking each other.
Exactly. Like they're fucking hanging out. We're gonna see our boy Jason Alexander soon.
Yeah.
He shows up out of nowhere.
Though I don't know him by name, but the one Vietnam buddy with the long hair, that dude was like in a bunch of movies at the time. Like he was like in the Jerky Boys movie and stuff. But,
I have that to watch, and I still have never seen the Jerky Boys movie.
God, I love it. Like I don't even think it ever even came out on DVD. Or maybe it did. I don't know. But like that's a movie I want to come out on Blu-ray so bad, and it never will because it's owned by Disney, unfortunately.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
That's so funny.
And what's weird too, but a lot of people don't know, but the Jerky Boys movie was produced by Emilio Estevez and Danny DeVito.
Genius.
This is an interesting bit of trivia, Zach. Adrian Lin, he turned down the directorial duties on the Bonfire of the Vanities so he could direct Jacob's Ladder. His first choice for the role was Jacob Singer, was Tom Hanks, but by coincidence, Hanks turned the film down so he could go make the Bonfire of the Vanities. So,
fucking, see, this could be one of those movies that people say like, oh, not only will it fucking possess you if you watch it, fucking, it's also, it was cursed, just like Poltergeist. Fucking,
right.
Get this, Lincoln shot in the back of a Ford. It was like one of those things. Fucking, it's got big cum. I just don't understand these guys. That his buddy there behind him looks like fucking what's his name? Breckenmeyer almost.
Oh, he does look like Breckenmeyer.
Fucking Brecken. I would party with Brecken.
For sure. Which we gotta talk about Jason Alexander, because I looked it up and I was trying to figure out the timeline between his role in this movie and Seinfeld. And depending on when this film was shot, it's always hard to tell sometimes. Sometimes movies are shot 6 months before they release. Sometimes they're shot a year and a half before.
I can tell by how much hair he's got.
Yeah. But yeah, he either shot this movie either right before or right after he shot the first season of Seinfeld.
Somewhere after The Burning, sometime before the first season of Seinfeld. That's about what I guess.
I think it's like 10 years after The Burning. I like how he offered all the guys in the thing like a bite of his Fritos. But yeah, he plays a lawyer who he's just like, yeah, there were some experiments in Vietnam, and if we could prove whatever, you guys could get a big lawsuit, a big settlement. And the guys are like, well, we don't care about the money, we just want to find out what happened to us.
Exactly. Fucking he's like, hell yeah, I'll look into it. And as they're leaving, we see they're being followed by somebody in a van or in a car.
Like it's pretty much like a Men in Black conspiracy right here.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
This scene's fucking dank.
Yeah.
Fucking our girl, she's sitting there like, oh yeah, I got you some orange juice, and like fucking he's like, fucking, oh, not that kind, and she says she picks the kind he didn't want, and he's like, fucking, oh no, fucking cringe. She's Big Stacy. Fucking, he doesn't know how good he is.
The one kind of apple juice he don't like.
Exactly. Fucking so ungrateful.
By the way, I love how she's taking a note and she's bent over the desk instead of sitting in the chair.
Exactly. She knows.
I mean, she's got to be a demon, though, to be able to take that hentai tentacle and the horn through the mouth but not die from it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Fucking, that is a chick you guys to hang with. You guys to fucking hang with.
Yeah.
She's gonna introduce some new things. Like, you might fucking, she just jumps up and swallows you whole with her pussy. Like a snake.
Jeez. And then you're just like laying in like you see the snake and it like eats a deer and it's like 50 times its regular size and it's just all swollen.
You just get in there and you fucking pound the shit out of her cervix. She's just coming all over the place.
Yeah, so Tim Robbins said years later he thought this movie didn't do well because of all the violent Vietnam scenes, and it didn't match up with the national mood in the fall of 1990 during the run-up to Gulf War. A lot of people just were turned off by the war aspect. But yeah, this movie didn't do well. Like, it literally broke even. Like, it cost like $25 million to make, and it grossed 26, which, once you factor in advertising and shit, it's pretty much a flop. But I mean, videotape was a big money maker back then, so I'm sure it either broke even or made a little bit of profit once it hit VHS. But yeah, I think that's another thing, Zach, with going back to like why maybe not a lot of people are familiar with this and it just knowing the name. But yeah, like I think a lot more people need to see this movie, especially to see it because like I feel like so many like conspiracy supernatural films that came out like the last 20 years after it, like they really borrowed a lot from this movie.
Exactly. And like fucking, like I said, like people talk about like, oh, a Silent Hill movie. We already got it. We already got a Silent Hill movie. Fucking,
you got a real one, yeah. Well, it even says in the IMDb trivia, I don't know what the source is from this, but it says this film served as a major inspiration to the early games in the Silent Hill video game franchise.
They tell us they fucking the game series, fucking Jacob's Ladder directly inspired it, fucking along with a couple other things, but like yeah, fucking Jacob's Ladder completely.
Because it took so long to get made. Apparently, over the years, at different points, it was almost directed by Sidney Lumet, Michael Apted, and Ridley Scott.
Exactly. Would you hang out with Ridley?
Oh, I would want to hang out with him now that he's in his 80s. Like, everybody got mad that he's like shitting on the Marvel Cinema Universe and all that. I think that's like awesome. Like,
why do people keep getting mad that people are shitting on it? Like,
no.
Haven't you got used to it yet? Haven't you realized it is like just the same movie over and over again yet? Like,
Yeah.
the fact that you still get this offended is like kind of concerning.
Well, it's
Like,
weird
you
too
can like
because
it all you want.
it's weird too because like they're like, if Martin Scorsese comes out and says it's not real cinema, real kino, then we got a problem there. But then like if the people pay like the $12 to go see Thor 4 and they don't like it, then they just shit all over it. I'm like, well, what's the fucking difference? Like,
I'm trying to fucking push the buttons. I can see it both ways. I'm just fucking with all the fam, but they're ready to have my head. They're ready to have my head.
I mean, it's like, you know, I watch comic book movies too and everything. And there was a time when I really loved comic book movies until they made so many of them, they all got generic. But it's like, at the end of the day, don't be so fucking touchy about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's popcorn movies and there's kino. I'm sorry, but Jacob's Ladder is pure kino.
Pure kino. The fucking that new Monsters fucking trailer.
Oh, I was about to read. Did you see it? You see how good that looks?
That's gonna be kino.
Yeah.
That literally looks just like the fucking I saw stills of that. I couldn't tell if it was fucking from a. It looks like a porno parody. It literally looks like a porno. It's so kino.
I think that's the point of it, and I think that's what people really aren't I think this is the point. I think the Monsters thing that Rob Zombie made, I think it's supposed to look and feel like if the Monsters was made as a sitcom today, because the Monsters was like a cheap ass show when they made it in the 60s or whenever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, all his friends backed out of the lawsuit with Jason Alexander, and he went to like question Jason Alexander why, and Jason Alexander was like, "Oh, leave me alone." So like, you think the Men in Black demons were getting to Jason Alexander as well?
Exactly. Fucking. It really does. The second half of the movie is just like fucking we thought it was like some demon shit, but it's some conspiracy shit. But then every once in a while you'll see like a fucking weird demon again, and it's like, no, there's still demons, but there's some conspiracy shit going on. The Illuminati, man, they really are lizard people. It's the lizard people, man. They're behind it all. Fucking, it's some fast. Alex Jones was right type of shit. Fucking type beat.
You ever see Alex Jones sing Danzig? It's really good.
I haven't.
Yeah, he sings Danzig, "Long Way Back from Hell."
Oh man, that's amazing.
A lot of people take like clips from it and edit it into their videos and make memes. And it's weird because he's just sitting at like the desk in his studio, looking straight into the camera, singing it. It's bizarre.
I can't imagine him doing it because the voice he talks with on a show already has to be like a fake voice.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that when we're just sitting
Do
around.
you wanna take a life? 'Cause it's a long way back from Jacob's Ladder.
Do
But,
you want to cross that line?
That's actually one of my favorite Danzig songs too. I love it.
I just want to fucking have sex with Danzig, and
Yeah.
I imagine that's the sound he makes when he comes. I want to cross that line. It's cross that line.
There used to be years ago, like we're talking like the early days of the internet, like 97, 98. There's this website where all the groupies would post like their experiences of all the rock stars they slept with, and I read like the Danzig one. It had like 20 or 30 posts. All these groupies, they all fucking complained about it. And like the number one complaint, I remember there's one, like the one big complaint was that this groupie was mad because Danzig yelled at her when she tried to light a cigarette in his hotel room.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I love this scene where he gets thrown out of the back of the car, and basically this is him at his lowest. He lands fucking he's pretty sure that he's completely like fucking paralyzed, but like is he really paralyzed, or is it like just manifesting as the way, like, because he sees fucking, you know, his body as being completely fucked up when he needs this chiropractor to come and help him. Whether or not it's real, it's all in his head, baby. But like, I love that scene where we see fucking the Santa Claus that is fucking he happens to just be standing there as Jacob is thrown out of the car and left, and fucking he has the sign that says like "Give to the needy," and fucking for no reason, just they put in the movie that the Santa Claus just steals his wallet while fucking while Jacob's laying there all shocked and shit.
Yeah, like when I first watched it, I thought the Santa Claus guy was just going to take the money out, but he steals the whole wallet.
That goes nowhere.
Yeah.
It's so weird that they put it there, but like I like that they did.
Well, I think he's supposed to be like he's part of the demon conspiracy because like this part like they're saying, oh, he doesn't have any ID, we don't know who this guy is, so like we got to hold him, and they're like, who took your wallet? And he says Santa Claus, so he just sounds crazy, so it's like they have to keep him in the hospital because he's so crazy or whatever.
And maybe they're hinting into the biblical themes with since it's the Jacob's ladder, the biblical theme. Like we said, like they said, they're being blatant with a lot of them, so maybe that was the intention. That guy kind of looks like the brother or whatever from Sopranos.
He does. Christopher or whatever.
Chad.
I like how they just start immediately wheeling him down to the X-ray thing, and they go through like a muddy like garage, and then they go through like the Silent Hill version of a hospital.
Yeah, I love those. Like fucking, they're wheeling him on a gurney, and they're going through like an abandoned warehouse looking thing where there's like dirt, and it's like fucking making him bump all over the place, and you start seeing like weird people with missing limbs and windows and shit. Yeah. See, I think.
Well, he sees his son's bike too.
Literally, I think fucking Cabin Fever when he fucking sees the rabbit and I think that's a reference to this movie. I think
the shot there of the gurney wheel spinning. There's actually trivia that says Adrian Lyne fucked with the thing to get it to go up off the ground so it would spin around like that. Like that's how keen of a director he was.
I always remember that shot too, because it almost like defies logic the way it's spinning around, but it's like it's because it's just a little short. And fucking, it's like, why is it? It just works so well.
I like the guy with like the little stumpy legs that crawls on the cage.
Chad.
There is some Chads in here. I like this lady. I always remember too that big breasted Stacy who's like trying to breastfeed a plastic doll.
Yeah.
It's really weird shit in here. And now he gets to the point where like they wheel him through like this crazy ward, and now he's just like body parts in this part of the hospital now that he's in, hacked off arms and legs, like. Now he's really in like the demonic basement.
If I had to pick one thing that probably is dated, it would probably be those optical effects there, or the
spinning heads, people.
Just because we've seen it so much in Marilyn Manson. It's like Marilyn Manson himself.
That's the thing though, is like you can't really like bitch about the movie that created it when everybody else just ripped it off for 30 years. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I always like this scene too because they now they're just all of a sudden he's in the doctor's office, but like the doctor's office is like has weird fucking like this doesn't look professional.
It's like a David Cronenberg doctor office.
Yeah, fucking he sees doctors with like foreskin over their eyes.
Yeah, they have foreskin, and Jesse's one of the surgeons.
Stacy.
Mm-hmm. This is gonna be me in a couple weeks, baby, if I have that surgery.
See, if I was him right now, I'd literally start jacking off. Like, fucking, fucking Desi's the one that's fucking, she's the one doing, oh my god, that's so fucking hot.
Well, even though he's, like, all tied up and shit, like, as soon as he sees her, he should be, like, just going hands-free at that point.
Fucking exactly. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Which he really still is at this point. Like
Exactly. I remember all these fucking sound bites are burned into my head. Seared.
The guy with the foreskin over his eyes. It's so realistic, and he just puts a needle in his head, like almost like a lobotomy at this point.
He's shooting the drugs directly into his brain.
Yeah.
That gets you fucked up.
I wonder if that's like a thing. If anybody could survive a shot of drugs to the brain, if the needle would just kill you.
Like, we need to make a movie where people are getting high by injecting heroin straight into their fucking forehead like that, and as soon as they plunge it in or whatever it's called, they just immediately start drooling. Yeah, it's fucked up. Fucking like I said.
It's like Nikki Sixx said they used to just lube up the bottles of vodka and pour it straight into their asses.
Fucking amazing. I heard women can actually soak a tampon in the
Really?
vodka and put it in their pussies and get drunk.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Fucking being a woman was like so much better than we ever could imagine.
Oh
That's
yeah.
so awesome. That's so awesome.
Here's some trivia, which I don't even know if I believe, but I find it interesting. It says actors who were allegedly interested in playing the lead role of Jacob Singer included Richard Gere, Dustin Hoffman, and Al Pacino.
I
For
saw
the
that.
for the role of Jezzy, director Adrian Lynn auditioned roughly 300 women, including Jennifer Lopez, Andie MacDowell, Madonna, Demi Moore, and Julia Roberts. The role eventually went to the very first person who auditioned, Elizabeth Pena. Which, I mean, it was her role. You can't steal that role from her. But, like, I kind of find this dubious because, like, wouldn't Jennifer Lopez have been, like, 18 at the time? Like, do you think she was really getting movie auditions then? Like, come on.
I don't know, fucking that's the Chad move though, to see the epic Stacy from the beginning and still
Yeah.
look at all the other people. Hopefully the scene they rehearsed was the fucking topless scene. It's like I already know I'm hiring her, but I want to see all these other
Just keep
boobies too.
rehearsing it. Yeah, everybody rehearses that scene.
Because Hollywood basically just works like an American Pie film.
Yeah, like I think Madonna would have been good in the role, but she would have been too on the nose.
Exactly.
Here's some good trivia. It says the confrontation between Jacob and Geary, that was Jason Alexander's character, originally took place in a courtroom corridor. Lynn moved the action down the stairs in order to downplay the height difference between Tim Robbins, who was 6'5", and Jason Alexander, who was 5'5". So yeah,
Tim Robbins is taller than me. What a Chad.
big chair.
Fucking-
Here's our boy to the rescue. Like, I really like this part, like where Danny Aiello, his chiropractor, all of a sudden just busts into the hospital to save him. Like, at this point, like, you know, obviously this would never really happen. You know, this is like complete fantasy going on.
His savior is here, baby. His savior is here, and his savior, this fucking chiropractor, is somehow able to like get like a fucking clearance above all these real doctors. He's like fucking telling them to back off. Like, I'm getting you out of here right now, and I'm gonna take care of you, buddy. And like fucking, he does. He takes him. He cracks his back, and he's like, I got it. And it's almost like just the suggestion that he got it makes Tim Robbins feel so much better. Like I almost think like they probably were hinting on like it's probably like fucking in his mind or something almost. But like he is a savior, and fucking he's the angel that came in. He's saving him, and like fucking we're getting to the third act of the movie now. Fucking and I realized while watching this last time that like fucking yeah, I'll point it out as we're watching it, but like fucking yeah, I think that scene after this happens where he's in the cab driving back home, he has the vision again of him getting stabbed at the beginning of the movie, and I think that's when he realizes like he figures it all out, but we don't know that yet.
Right.
Like he's put it together. Like okay, I guess this is it. Like it must be the moment like when you're in the car and it's like I guess this is it, and there's everybody talks about like that calmness comes over you or something like that. Maybe that's like fucking I guess this is like the end of life. I guess I'm gonna experience that. I guess I'm ready for this. And then he's like okay, and he gets taken back to his apartment, and it's almost like he goes up knowing that I'm gonna run into whatever I'm supposed to confront from this point on. Or it's like he just knows that from this point on.
Well, really, it all starts with this scene with Danny Aiello fixing his back in the chiropractor office. He does this whole speech where he talks about basically when you're holding on, the devils will try to pull you, you know, because basically for you to accept your fate that you're dead, and that if you try and cling to life, that's when the devils come for you. All the demons, they try to get you. And he says like the memories, they try to burn them away to like free yourself. Like basically like letting go of what your life was is like freeing, so you can go to the other side type thing. And then he even says like, so in a way the devils become angels, whatever. You know what I mean?
And it's all in how you look at it, Jacob, young grasshopper.
But I mean, to be honest, it wasn't like he was really frightened, and like because he does early on, he even asks Jesse like, "Am I dead?" Like after the whole bathtub thing. But I mean, in general, for the most part, it's not even really like he's holding on. He just doesn't know what happened to him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then he asked his wife the second time we talked over, but he woke up again uh, and saw the other wife, and the kids came in, and
Yeah.
he mentioned,
Hospital.
like, he said, like, "Am I alive?" And then the kids started laughing because they thought he was stoned.
Yeah.
But and
Like on
the
drugs.
wife could tell, like, he was being serious. And there was a good moment there where she cried because she could tell he was, like, scared.
Yeah.
Fucking this movie's very Kino, very Kino.
I mean, the one thing that you can't accuse this movie of being is not Kino, because it is very Kino.
It's just covered in Kino. He covered in Kino.
The original covered in Kino game. But
Exactly. Kino therapy. Oh, you're
it
gonna
is.
need Kino therapy. You're gonna have tumors from so much Kino being pumped into you.
I like how Tim Robbins has the body of like a little boy. Like he has like no upper chest muscles. He just has that skinny body that we all had as little kids. But
Fucking shit.
yeah, if we were playing the game of Kino or not Kino right now, and Jacob's ladder came up on the scoreboard, we'd have to say definitely Kino.
Exactly. Kino Quasino.
Exactly. Speaking of which, we'll have a big announcement coming up in a few episodes about the future of Kino Cuisino.
Oh yes.
The deals are brewing.
We need to open up a casino called the Kino Casino.
Oh, that would be awesome. All the slot machines, we just buy all the ones that are themed after movies and TV shows.
Fucking you pull the slot and it spins and it shows different DVD covers. You got to
Yeah.
match them. And then if you match them, you get 8,000 copies of that DVD. And it's the
Exactly.
DVD. We don't want to give away Blu-rays.
No, it's got to be DVD is the most universally. It's still the best-selling format. A lot of people don't understand that, but it's yeah, it's for everybody. So yeah, I want to talk about Adrian Lin for a second because he had something like really fucked up happen in his career that really got him off the track of making movies, and I think it was really unfair. So anyway, his debut movie in 1980 was Foxes. I think that's like a camp movie with I think Jodie Foster. It's either Jodie Foster or Christy McNichol. I can't remember which one. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. And then 1983, he directed Flashdance, which was a huge runaway hit. Then 86, he did 9.5 Weeks, Mickey Rourke, another huge hit. Then a year later, he did Fatal Attraction. This guy had hit after hit, Zach. And then 3 years later, he finally got Jacob's Ladder made, and then boom, it kind of didn't kill his career, but it kind of slowed him down. And then a couple years after that, he had Indecent Proposal with Robert Redford and Woody Harrelson, Demi Moore, which was a pretty big hit too. That was 93. And then 97, you're probably too young to remember this, he did a remake of Stanley Kubrick's Lolita, which is about a grown man who falls in love with his girlfriend's like teenage daughter. And like this movie got so, like everybody was so afraid of the pedophile implications that like the studio dropped it, and it was like just sitting on the shelf for years. And I remember finally Showtime bought it and put it on the air. But like I thought that was and it killed his career. He made like 5 years later he made another movie called Unfaithful with Diane Lane, which like did okay. It was an okay movie, but it wasn't like a big hit. And then like he didn't make a movie for 20 years until recently. He made Deep Water with Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. But I just thought that was so stupid because it wasn't like he made like some radical child porn whatever thing. He made a remake of a movie that came out and was perfectly acceptable in the 1950s.
It was a remake of a movie based on a book that
Yeah.
they couldn't even do that back in the day.
Yeah.
How did they make a movie about Lolita? Was the marketing for that movie? Technically, they didn't. They couldn't because they couldn't get away with doing that. So the remake is like, we're just gonna fucking make the book as it was written.
Yeah.
And that ruined his career. That's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons and Dominique Swain. And I remember watching on cable, or maybe I rented it afterwards when it came on videotape. And
I remember thinking it was pretty good. I don't
Yeah, it
remember
seemed pretty
thinking
good.
it was bad.
But they act like he made something so atrocious, which like how could somebody make it? It's not like he directed Chicken Hawk or whatever.
The whole point of the movie and the book is that this guy's bad for doing
Yeah.
what he's doing.
yeah, like very bad. That was our boy Macaulay. He got splatted.
He did. He got fucking hit on his bike.
And I don't know about the trivia. We'll have to see when the end credits come up. But the trivia claims that Macaulay was uncredited in this film. I'm like, why? Like, why would he be uncredited?
I don't know. Yeah.
It was like he was such a big star already that they were he was just doing the cameo.
What if it was like fucking? Which movie opened first?
This did, and then like a week later, they had the premiere of what is it called, Home Alone, and then I think it was maybe 2 weeks later it hit a wide release, Home Alone. But yeah, within 2 weeks he was in this movie and Home Alone.
Home Alone was gonna be a huge movie because of who was behind it.
Yeah.
Fucking, they probably called him and been like, "Can you like not advertise this adult film with this kid that we're gonna try to make a big star?" Probably.
It's so weird. Hollywood's so weird.
Yeah. Here she is, fucking Stacy.
Again, but like it's funny though, because like I wondered too, because like she's like if you notice, it's kind of subtle, but like she's like kind of discourage him along the way from like discovering or doing like what he's doing, like researching what's going on or the conspiracy. And it's almost like she kind of does want to keep him there with her, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Did you see the original ending? They apparently they did shoot an ending that was basically in the final version. This is the last time we see her character, I think. Mm-hmm. But in the original ending, she was gonna show up again and reveal her true form.
No.
She's gonna show up and she's like a fucking, she comes out like she's a demon, baby. Fucking,
like what happens? She tears her skin off or something.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that deleted scene's on the Blu-ray or not. Fucking,
I know there was a scene they shot. It's in the trivia, and they say you can see it in one of the original vintage making of movies. Like, you know how like in the movie where he at the very beginning where he almost gets run over by the subway train, and then it just cuts to like the morning, like dawn sun, and then he wanders into the apartment. Apparently after that there was a scene where he like, you know, kept walking through the tunnel and he got to another station and he went in the bathroom or whatever because he was all dirty and he saw a man getting raped in there.
Exactly, I remember that. Yeah, remembering that. And then the guy pulls a knife on him or something and he runs away.
Yeah. Which would have been really weird, honestly.
Fucking, it would have been, yeah. I wonder what was this. Maybe that's just too weird right out of the gate. Yeah. Not sure, yeah. But our boy, fucking, we have to talk about it. Fucking, she has to be hot as demon form too.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm curious, like if they ever shot it or not, if they ever did the special effects.
Fucking, such a big Stacy demon, big Stacy demon Milkies.
Oh yeah.
Why am I going full Cam Gang on this episode?
I don't know. It's an odd movie to go. Actually, it's not an odd movie to go full game. Dang, there's I'm searching for pictures to see if there's any pictures of her as a demon. It doesn't look like it. It might have just been something that they never shot. But there's some company that made like a full life, or maybe this is the prop from the movie, like the rubber body with the mouth coming out. Damn, it is. It sold for only $2,340.
This isn't a movie that's like it influenced so many movies. It's almost like it gets lumped in with a couple of movies. Yeah. Not the fucking Angel Heart was another one.
Yeah. Which actually I just got in the mail yesterday. That's another one I haven't seen all the way through in years and years. But supposedly, because Adrian Lynn knew Mickey Rourke, he offered him the role, and Mickey Rourke turned it down, which I think was a good move because this movie is very similar in a lot of ways to Angel Heart.
Which do you prefer? I actually watched this one first. I think it seems to be like you like the one you saw first when it comes to Angel Heart.
I saw them like win both in the theater, so I would have seen Angel Heart first. But I think it's hard to say because to be really honest, I'd have to go watch Angel Heart again. But like Angel Heart is a movie like I bought it, just came out in 4K and it was cheap. I just want to see it again because I'm a huge Mickey Rourke fan. So it's just, and also De Niro's in it. So it's like I gotta have the movie that had Mickey Rourke and De Niro in it that started their long going feud that's still going on. But I think I don't know. It's hard to say. I think I prefer the atmosphere and visuals and story of Jacob's Ladder more.
Fucking based goat.
Yeah.
Fucking based goat over here. Fucking I agree.
I'm goated with the Kino.
He's goated with the sauce.
Yeah.
Fucking goated with the sauce. That's my favorite meme that came out of this last year.
I came across the weirdest meme while looking for this Jacob's Ladder shit. It's a post of like a full-grown guy like in a cosplay for Ghostbusters, and then also a little tiny girl in a cosplay for Ghostbusters. And with the guy, it says Ghostbusters 2016 is not for this guy. He's already had 2 great movies, a theme song, multiple toys, comics, and props, and 173 hits. 173 episodes of a hit cartoon show. And then shows the little girl, and it says, Ghostbusters 2016 is for this awesome little lady. She needs heroes, too. And I'm like, okay, have you seen that movie where, like, the women are just arguing with each other and slapping each other the whole time? It wasn't very heroic.
Yeah. The people might say that about the original. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? I think a girl probably wouldn't like that movie just because it's too long. I don't like that movie because it's too long. I think girls have less time than most guys do. They're too busy going to college and shit.
Are you talking about the original Ghostbusters or the 2016?
The 2016. Is it the 2016 one, like 2 hours long?
Yeah, like I didn't see it till Blu-ray. I rented it from Netflix, and I swear it felt like it was like 2.5 hours long.
It's like fucking... I forget the guy that made this name. I really like
Paul Feig or whatever.
I really like Freaks and Geeks, but like, bro, you don't have to use every inch of film you shot. You're supposed to cut down the work print.
But he said they improv so much he didn't know what to cut, so he just kept it all. So whatever.
Exactly. See, right here, this is basically the conclusion we get to the whole conspiracy so far. He basically, the guy that basically pulled him away from the car fire earlier and then ran away shows back up. And now he's laying it all on him. Fucking, basically like, they gave you some drugs and shit. They were shooting it into you like you were fucking each other like stone test bunnies and shit. I was there. I saw the whole thing, man. You started fucking being Rames, and just out of nowhere, you just bricked in your fucking face.
You guys went from normal soldiers to the original Kane gang within seconds.
Hell yeah.
But like
it just cuts to them jacking off.
Just like all shooting. That's why Eric LaSalle had it coming out of his nose. He had so much, but the drug makes you came from every orifice of your body.
From all pores.
But no, like this scene was actually my favorite part of the movie on this rewatch, because like this guy gives his whole backstory. The chemist guy, like he was a hippie chemist making LSD, and he got caught, and like they were gonna throw him in jail for like 25 years, or he could go to Vietnam and do experimental chemistry for them. So like he went to Vietnam and like he developed this drug, and it's really cool because he's talking about how like first they gave it to like chimpanzees and they tore each other apart and ripped each other's faces off and shit. And then he's like then like they took prisoners of war from the Vietnamese and like gave it to them, and like they did the same. They were even worse than the chimps. So he said like they just put really small doses in your guys' food, and figured, well, the dose, if we just make it smaller, like it would just make them great fighters. But instead it like just like he doesn't say it, but I'm assuming over time of them just eating that shit, like it made them like they knew a big offensive was coming, but like the guy, like they never even made it to the battle because like they were too busy. Just like when they were like just waiting on orders, that's when they all snapped and just started killing each other.
But in our version, they were gaming everywhere.
In our version, they just calmed, and they're still alive to this day, and they get together once a year for a reunion, and they do the circle jerk again.
And the machines all run on Kame in the future.
That's the real Jacob's Ladder. You climb up the ladder.
Exactly.
Every rung is a thing of a Kame.
See, right here is what I was talking about. I thought it happened earlier, but right now he gets into the cab, he sees he's got the crucifix there, and
Mm,
he sees this, and I think this is when he realizes like fucking that's what's happening. Like
yeah.
he even has like a look of like that's what's happening right there when he got stabbed.
Well, yeah, I think what it is too, it's like that thing of like your memory, like when somebody tells you one little piece and makes you remember the rest of it. Because when the chemist guy explained to him, like, no, you guys didn't get attacked by the Viet Cong, you guys attacked each other. I think that's what triggered that memory in him, and then made him realize. Because the whole movie, like the demons are saying, like when he was doing that surgery in the hospital, the demons are saying, "You died, don't you remember that?" It's just like his memory's blocked. So like now he's actually remembering it.
Exactly. The way it happens is so kind of fast too that it's like fucking how much of it was part of the dream, how much of it like was it a dream, but does he have like some kind of at some point like fucking some kind of new sense that lets him know like fucking oh
Yeah.
like I'm dead and like okay that's what's that like it's fucking weird but like yeah now he gets back to his hotel. He goes up and like yeah he just basically he's playing Silent Hill now. He knows how the Silent Hill franchise ends
He
and
has the PS2 controller in his hand.
he's basically like oh yeah fucking this is the last part of the game. I just walk into like the area where the game started out or like something revolving around the game and then like I'll run into like what I'm supposed to confront and then I'll beat the game basically.
Yeah.
But that didn't exist then because it's based on this movie. It's kind of funny how that works out. Fucking the Silent Hill guys are so cool. They teamed up with our boy from Back to the Future, went back in time, influenced this game, influenced this movie before it happened.
Yeah, it's funny because like the staircase here, like that's like the ladder right there. But it's
Hmm.
saying that originally, like I don't know, if it was just budget or just the director didn't like it. But originally, it was going to be like this giant staircase with like hundreds of people standing on it that he would walk up at the end of the movie. Him and Macaulay.
Exactly. Fucking basically our boy. Apparently the original script and the original idea was like fucking. It was more like just blatantly like based on the biblical stuff. Like fucking, the demons had hooves. They came in. They came in. Do you hear the funny sound? Do you hear the funny sound? It's my hooves.
Who's
You hear the quacking, and they had like horns and stuff. Which I don't hate that idea. That could have been interesting,
Yeah.
but the director was like really influenced by like some kind of photographer and stuff like that. He was like he had his idea for like I want it to kind of like not be like that because I feel like if we do it like that, it'll just kind of read as comical to a lot of people. We got to like kind of bring it some way they've never seen it before. Like fucking and they ended up settling on like they read about some kind of I forgot what it was, but it was some kind of like experiment thing where some mothers that were a part of some trial for some drug,
Yeah.
like a couple of their kids were born with some kind of birth defects, and
There was a lot of that. Yeah.
he based the demon look on something like that.
The like this is interesting, but like pretty much like just the last scene is he goes into his old house where he lived with his wife and kids, and nobody's there, and he's just waiting and waiting until morning, and then he sees Macaulay and he goes up the staircase. But like apparently this movie was going to be super long because it says after initial test audiences reported that the film was overwhelming, director Adrian Lin cut out 20 minutes of material, almost all of which came from the last third of the film. 4 major sequences were removed after Jacob first meets Michael. A scene where Michael gives him an antidote for the ladder. I think Michael was the chemist guy, I think. A scene where Michael gives him an antidote for the ladder. A scene where Jacob thinks he is cured but turns out not to be. A scene where he goes to Michael's apartment and finds Michael decapitated. And a scene just prior to his final meeting with Gabe, which is Macaulay Culkin, where he meets Jessie, who shows her true form. So...
Exactly.
yeah, supposedly there's a lot more shit going on. But I gotta admit, like, the movie ends very simple and very, I guess, understated in the way of his crossing over to, that the true afterlife, But like I think it's good the way it wraps up because it's pretty much like the final theatrical version of the movie. It's like you've already kind of been through so much hell and torment. Like, yeah, like if it, like I could see if you had another extra 20 minutes of him just like, it just would seem like a never-ending rabbit hole. Like you know, whereas this way, like it feels like he's been through hell already, and he earns like his reward of like, you know, seeing his son again, and you know, very peacefully and very happily going to the afterlife.
Hell yes. Yeah, it was. This was going to be like fucking, you know, the stairs was going to like go up into the sky and shit. They're like, fucking, that could come off as comical. Let's make it let's make it like fucking, it's just the stairway at his house. It's like where you were the happiest in life, almost.
Yeah.
There's a moment right there where it almost looks like he doesn't know whether or not it's just going to be a demon or not. And then like the kid looks at him and says something, and he's like fucking, and then it's like, that's him fucking. And it is. It's like I almost expected it to be a demon. What it does is kind of end with him like fucking he really got what he wanted the whole time back at the end of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
And for some reason it wasn't Jesse.
Yeah, they kind of, even though he never, like, whatever, like, they kind of, like, the way I understood it was his son got killed while he was in Vietnam. And it was just, like, even though he technically never really, like, went back to his family or whatever, like, we get the inference that, you know, once he lost his son, Macaulay, like, he was never really any good to his wife or his other kids ever again type thing, because he was so damaged from losing the other son. So it's like, yeah, like I feel like his ultimate happy place would be back to the son that he missed so much.
Fucking back to son, won't you come? Fucking amazing.
Won't you come and take me up Jacob's ladder?
Back home, same, won't you came? I see it doesn't rhyme with came. I can't do it.
Which by the way, we forgot to mention too, Jacob's ladder. The chemist guy says that the drug that they gave him, they called it the ladder.
Yeah.
So the drug is actually technically, even though it's really Jacob's ladder up to heaven, it's really technically the title of the movie really comes from Jacob's like ladder of getting dosed with the drug, the ladder.
Exactly. And then what does it end with? Fucking, what was his name? Jacob Singer. And then he types it on a fucking file and marks it void. That's how it all ends for us, I guess.
Yeah, they just take they pronounce him dead in the military tent.
And then it shows us, basically it tries to end with a message.
Yeah.
Tries to be all fucking, tries to get an Oscar or something, some bullshit.
Well, it's weird too, because it tells you that the psychotropic whatever drug BZ was tested on soldiers during it. It's like, why even mention that? Because it's like, to me, when I saw it the other day, I was just kind of like, are you trying to say this is based on a true story?
I guess we're just doing it to raise awareness, because fucking we're just doing it to raise awareness. Okay. Maybe it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
I like to believe that.
Based
and then
on
they
a
built,
true story.
and then they made a game based on it too.
They did? What was the game called?
Fucking Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, that's right, Silent Hill. Silent Ladder.
Hell yes. What do you think of it, baby?
I like it. I'm going to pick up the Blu-ray now. I don't know, like I was about to say, like, oh, this is like the one film I wouldn't mind if they made a remake of, but if they made it like completely different at the same time. But I'm like, I guess they did do a shitty remake already. So.
You know what's funny? It's almost like an alternate universe where if like instead of Silent Hill being inspired by fucking Jacob's Ladder, like the fucking Silent Hill sequel is like from a different universe where fucking, you know, Silent Hill was or Jacob's Ladder was based on fucking, I forgot what I'm saying. I'm so fucking scatterbrained right now.
You're so based. Well, it's a hell of a ride that the movie takes you on. But like, I mean, Yeah, I don't think I did get I did take the story out of it the first time I seen it. But shit, it's literally been over 30 years since I watched this movie from the beginning to end. Like, I think I enjoy it. I think I just enjoyed it at the time the same way as a kid, the same way I did like Hellraiser and stuff, if you know what I mean. Whereas now, like, I actually, again, like, I feel like the movie's a little heavy-handed in the way it tells it. But I mean, once you do a rewatch and you know the twist of the movie anyway, that doesn't even really matter. But like, yeah, like, I think I appreciate the movie more fully, and with the, what do you call it, life experience.
I
take more out of it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that earlier, and I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna mention that after fucking, Hellraiser went to space, every sequel after that was basically just a fucking like bootleg remake of Jacob's Ladder, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Like fucking Inferno. I remember Inferno. I didn't hate Inferno just because it was like, oh, it's something different. It is kind of like Jacob's Ladder. That's interesting. Oh, we're seeing it through the eyes of the person experiencing it. Like, that's cool.
Was Inferno the one about the cop or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one I ever seen. Yeah.
Little did I know that would literally be everything they do for the rest of them. If I remember right, there was one where they were like in a haunted house or something with Lance Anderson or something. It wasn't a haunted house. It was like a party house, and there was some internet shit involved. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, I think, yeah, any called like Hell World or something, because they have a website where everybody watches it.
I completely forgot that existed until I was just thinking about it and now I just want to forget it again. I just want to forget that existed.
Well, you will. You watch some more dank-ass Kino, you'll forget all about those bad Hellraiser movies. But no, like, I mean, I don't... Yeah, how it says Special Prosthetic Effects, FX Smith Inc. Like, that's who was auctioning that thing off. I can't believe it. Like, it was like a life-size thing with the breasts and everything. Like, it just didn't have the arms, and it was, like, cut from the waist up. Like, it was a really good prop, and it looked like it was still in pretty good shape.
They probably molded it after her real titties too.
I was gonna say, like, it really looked like hers, like, because no, like, I've seen where usually they do have you take your shirt off, like, even girls, like, when they do the thing, because the plaster gets everywhere, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
so funny how I can take like stuff and like, fuck, I just gotta bring it back to the fucking Dirty Land.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 12-year-old boy over here.
We're talking about a film with a very erotic subtext in nature. I mean, why not? If A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is all about taking it in the ass, why can't Jacob's Ladder be about sexualizing demonic? What do you call that? It was I know it's fan fiction, but like, what do you call it? Like the like when you have
hentai.
Well, yeah, hentai, but like there's some name for it, like when you when you have like fantasies of having sex with like mythical creatures or whatever.
Is that what people mean when they say roll 23 or something?
I don't know. There's a name for it. I forget what it's called now.
I've heard people mention something called roll 23 or something like that. Roll 33 or something, and I got the impression that that's like fan fiction about people having sex. Yeah. That's what I got the impression. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what it was.
Yeah, like it's funny too, because just to be completely honest, like, we're kind of like recording these episodes like kind of close together more than usual, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was like kind of like I was on a high from us doing Pauly Shore and Freddy Krueger back to back, and I was kind of like, when I sat down just to watch Jacob's Ladder the other day, I'm like, I know this is a cool movie. I remember it's a cool movie, but I'm like, Pauly Shore and Freddy Krueger, man. That's like my cinematic, comfort zone, pleasure zone there.
Did you check to see if this has an anniversary coming up, being as how we didn't realize the last two did before we
like, I mean, it does, obviously every year is the anniversary of something, but it's not because this came out in 1990, so it won't be like a round one, you know what I mean? It won't be like a 30 or 35th or whatever.
That's funny. Like, we like to pretend like we fucking knew that the anniversary.
Like I write that we're celebrating the anniversary in the like the whatever show description, but then we never even acknowledge it in the thing.
We didn't acknowledge it, but I'm pretty sure we knew before we did.
I just forget. Like,
Yeah.
once you get rolling, you're talking about Fred Krueger being a Play-Doh-phile. I mean, you can't
Freddy
really...
Krueger's cum and how it,
Yeah.
imagining how it looks and tastes.
When he turned into... Yeah, like that. Like, how long did we talk about that on the last episode? Like, maybe 30 or 40 minutes, but...
At least the first hour was all that.
At least the first hour. But, yeah. But it was, in the end, it was so... Because, like, there's a lot, too. Like, I didn't realize... I mean, he has a small part and everything, but I didn't really remember that, like, Ving Rhames was in it and all that. And pretty much, like, the cast, like, everybody was in it. Like, the guy who played the chemist, Matt Craven, he used to be in a lot of movies. So it was a good, and obviously, always paying tribute and love with your heart and eyes to the resting in peace and power, Elizabeth Pena. It was good to see her again.
R.I.P. And Tim Robbins, he doesn't act anymore. Remember when he was gone for years and then just showed up out of nowhere, unannounced, in Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny?
Yeah.
And when he showed up, it was just like, is that who I think it is? What the fuck? That was so weird. And then it was like, oh, is he back now? And then it's just like, nope.
No.
Is he just good friends with Kyle Gass and Jack Black?
He probably jams with him, probably smokes grass with him or something.
What if fucking they all hang out and have sex with each other?
Like, not like they have sex with girls in front of each other, but they actually just with each other, they're lovers or what?
Susan Sarandon watches and masturbates.
Well, that's probably why they broke up, because she got jealous of it.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
That is how I want to die. Fucking having sex with my boys while Susan Sarandon watches and masturbates.
That sounds like some true Jacob's cum ladder
Oh,
fan
yeah.
fiction. You should write a website like where you're talking about you, because like nobody knows who you are. Then you're talking about Susan Sarandon. Terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worst movie podcast in the world.
This is amazing. This shit is gold. We need to greenlight Jacob's bladder. We need to come up. We need to make that somehow sexual in some way.
Don't even tempt me with that, because I've been holding my bladder for the last 40 minutes. But
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that was the amazing and epic Jacob's Ladder. Obviously, I mean, it's just a video store staple. I always see the cover. I always see it back then. The posters up, everything. Love Jacob's Ladder. It's just weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it, Zach, other than it's just a movie that was like never popular, but like it was always around in some way. You know what I mean?
Fucking. It influenced so much.
Yeah, it did.
But it's like the things that influence get remembered more than it itself, almost.
Exactly. Which is very sad. That actually happens a lot in the movie business, and it actually kind of, I don't know, I find it to be very sad.
It is weird, yeah.
So anyway, that's it. Those are all the disgusting facts and hentai fantasies we have about the 1990 film Jacob's Ladder. Directed by Adrian Lin and starring Tim Robbins and Elizabeth Pena. So, if you made it this far, you're very you have a very strong will and constitution. Like, maybe this episode is their Jacob's Ladder. Like, maybe they're realizing like they just rather die now after they reach this point of the show.
Oh yeah.
The last couple minutes of the episode makes them finally give up and walk up the big golden staircase like Jacob did.
Fucking, they're gonna. This is gonna be over. They're gonna go through the rest. They're gonna go through like 8 months after this fucking ends, just being completely miserable, complete total depression. They're gonna be like fucking man. They're just gonna be on the last limbs of their life, and then they're gonna wake up. They're gonna be in the fucking bathtub looking up, and this commentary's still gonna be playing.
And the tear will come out of their eye under the water.
Exactly.
I can't believe you thought he was crying underwater. That's so bizarre.
Fucking.
You thought you could see a tear come out of his eye underwater.
I just made that up while I was going.
Oh, okay.
It sounded good at the time.
It was so weird. I thought it was like maybe true. But anyway, thank you so much for making it this far, and we'll catch you again real soon, right here in the movie graveyard.
Dog.